Plaintiff Chioma George says her daughter is an exemplary honor roll student who's won multiple awards. So Chioma threw her an extravagant Sweet 16 party with hip-hop performers, African dancers, and a red carpet. However, Chioma says she made a mistake by hiring the defendant to videotape the event because he never provided her with the footage. So she's suing. Defendant Brian Williams says the Sweet 16 party was over the top, and he saw teens everywhere dirty dancing and even engaged in sexual acts. Brian says after the event, Chioma harassed him like a cheating husband.
Start with you.
Your Honor, I'm here because I wanted to throw my daughter an amazing, extravagant, over-the-top Sweet 16 birthday party. And I wanted to do this because she was deserving of it, Your Honor. This girl, Chantel George, is the best daughter anyone could ever ask for. She's always been on the honor roll since elementary school. She's been nominated to the National Honor Society. Good. She is on the Student Advisory Council and was appointed by her principal to be on that. Yeah. Your Honor, she doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke, she doesn't hang around questionable characters. She's a performer. She's performed all over Chicago. And I have, proof of all this. She was at the NAACP and participated in their competition for Olympics of the Mind and took second place. And these are some medals and, examples of her honor roll status in school. So she's been nothing but an exemplary person, and I was honored to be able to celebrate and honor her in such a way. So I made sure I planned everything. I mean, I had hip hop performers, I had African dancers, we had a red carpet, we had a step and repeat, chocolate covered strawberries, 3-layer cake, everything you can think of, name it, I did it for her. And I did it because I wanted her to have memories to last a lifetime. It was perfect, Your Honor. It was a wonderful day, except for I made one mistake, one crucial mistake, and that was in hiring this so-called professional videographer named Brian Williams.
Where did you know him from?
Well, I found his information on Craigslist. I did some research, and that's where I hired my photographer, my videographer, and my DJ. When I contacted him, he sent me footage of some wonderful things he'd done at weddings, and I said, yeah, I like this. This is what I want. So he agreed, Your Honor, to cover my event, which was 5 hours.
What was the agreement? How much?
The agreement was for $215. And he needed a 50% deposit.
You say $215?
Yes, absolutely.
To video an entire event?
That's what he said. And I had various quotes, and a lot of the quotes were in that region. I mean, of course, you can go higher end, absolutely.
$200 for an entire event.
That's what he agreed
Folks
to.
been ripping me off.
Charge thousands.
I think the lowest was $1,200. And I thought that was a big deal to grab that. What was the agreement, sir?
Well, first of all, Your Honor, I've been a videographer for over 10 years. And I have never had a client treat and harass me the way that Chioma did. I mean, she treated me like I was her cheating husband.
How so?
She would call me up and she would ask me where I've been, why you didn't answer your phone, what's going on with this and that. And this was definitely not a normal Sweet 16 party. This was an over-the-top MTV type party. There were kids grinding on each other. There were kids touching breasts, and there were teenagers that even I seen performing a sexual act in front of the camera.
And you taped that?
No, I did not tape that. I did not tape that. I didn't want any part of that.
Did you mention it to her? I'm just curious. Did you
I mentioned it to her sister, who was...
Why didn't you mention it to the mother?
Because Chioma was nowhere to be found during this event.
Gotcha.
Your Honor, I didn't hire him to be a moral barometer. I asked him to videotape my event.
You came in here today being a moral barometer yourself.
Well, what he's talking about
is... My daughter has never done anything in the world wrong. Ever. Go ahead, sir. So you pointed that out.
And I pointed that out to her sister, okay? And her sister told me that I need to talk to her 14-year-old daughter, which was bossing me around through the whole event, telling me to film this and film that. Now, provided I was never handed an order of events, so I didn't know what was coming up. Okay, so 2 hours into the event, I finally seen Chioma.
Let's get to the agreement, though. Was it $215 for the entire event?
No, actually, it was $225 for the entire event.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have an email here, which he sent me.
You didn't have an agreement.
and the contract.
Well, that's what I need. Let me
have
see
the
the
contract.
agreement. We're going to go with the agreement. And does the agreement have the cost on here?
It has the deposit that I gave.
No, the cost. And you have a contract. It says, I'm going to charge you this and that amount.
He didn't put that specifically in the
Sir,
contract.
you don't put amounts on your contracts?
I have an invoice based on a deposit amount of $112.50 as a deposit.
Okay, so that means she owed 50% more.
Right.
All right, and ma'am,
Your
you
Honor,
exchanged how much? How much
I
did
gave
you
him
give him as a deposit?
$108 as a deposit.
All right. So what happened, ma'am, with the
Your Honor, he is
contract?
talking about how people were behaving or whatnot at my party.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I had other adults there. It was not an all children's party. If that type of thing was going on, the other adults would have definitely come and expressed that to me.
Right.
But the whole point is that I hired him to capture that day.
Okay.
And from the get-go, he was unprofessional. When it came time to sending a deposit, he started talking about things like sending things
Quiet,
to his
sir.
baby mama's house or whatnot, that he didn't live there, and where he was living at, he couldn't get mail. He then, when it was the day of the event, I'm in the middle of running around trying to get everything together, and he's calling me to say, oh, where is the place? I had to stop what I was doing, give him directions, and when he got there, he was an hour late. He missed her getting ready for the party. He missed the majority of the red carpet. And then when he got there, I asked him, did he need anything? He told me he just needed to set up and he was good to go. I said, contact me or my sister if you need anything. But my sister was the main facilitator because I was more behind the scenes. He never approached me, and I left it to him because I was like, he's a professional. That's why I hired him. So I didn't have to worry about this. And
So how did he breach the contract?
well, he breached the contract because at the end of the day, I made sure that I talked to my vendors about what would be needed afterwards, and I wanted to give them a hot dinner because they'd been working all day. Brian was nowhere to be found. I sent him an email. I was like, hey,
Oh, my
Brian, I
God.
was looking for you. He's like, oh, you were busy, so I decided to just leave. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to Japan for 246 days. I'm like, what? I was shocked. I would have never hired him if I knew he was leaving like the very next day for Japan, because we had to deal with editing and I needed to collaborate with him. And now I was worried.
So that's why you're suing, because he went to Japan the next day?
I'm not suing because he went to Japan, but that was not part of the contract. He did not discuss that.
It
That
wasn't
would be
part of his contract to be able to go to Japan?
No, it was not in the contract.
Oh, okay, right. What other personal things did you want him
I wanted him to be
comply with?
available to me so that I could edit the footage with him, give him my ideas,
Okay.
and then have a perfect professional
But he left
DVD.
the next day.
But he left the next day.
So he was unavailable for 240
Yes,
days?
yes.
Okay, when did you finally get in touch with him?
I finally got in touch with him about a month out, and that was
A
in
month out,
September.
and he was in Japan?
Yes, he told me I can call him on his phone.
Right.
It worked in
so
Japan.
you called him a month later, he was in Japan?
Yes.
And then what?
And then he said that his partners here would work with me
Mm-hmm.
to edit the footage, and that the balance would be due as soon as the footage was done.
Okay. Did
Well,
that happen?
No, I would
All right.
call him. He wouldn't answer his
So
phone.
your lawsuit is for what specifically?
The lawsuit-
Failure to edit?
Failure to edit, failure to give me footage, failure to give me anything. No completed DVD,
You never
nothing.
received anything?
I have not received a thing.
All right. Let me hear your side.
Okay, first of all, I have an email that disputes what she just said. She said she never received any footage. I also have a UPS and also a USPS here. So that's the UPS notification that was sent to her house.
Yesterday, I received a DVD with raw footage of my daughter's Sweet 16 party. How do you explain that?
What he sent me, what date
No,
was that?
ma'am. How do you explain just telling me that you received absolutely nothing? When I pull out this email, then you say, what he sent me just a moment ago, he sent me absolutely nothing.
Your Honor.
Now, when I bust you in a lie, then you want to change your story about what he did send you.
Your Honor,
Have
you're
a good
reading
day,
that.
ma'am. Your case is dismissed. Bye-bye.